Hey there, clever masterminds. It's your homeboy, Cleverboy86. This is my review for The Walking Dead Season 6. So if you guys haven't seen my reviews for The Walking Dead Seasons 1 through 5, definitely check those out. I have a playlist containing all of my Walking Dead season reviews, so definitely check those out if you haven't seen them. Anyways, let's talk about Season 6. Season 6 started with a rather unique artistic choice. It went black and white for events that happened in the past and color for events that were happening in the present, and I thought that was really cool. So in the premiere episode, we see this giant herd of walkers in this quarry, and their plan is to lure the walkers away from Alexandria. While all this is happening, the wolves attack Alexandria. We see Carol kill one of the wolves, and she disguises herself as one of them, which was a pretty badass scene. And Morgan doesn't want to kill any of the wolves because his mindset is that all life is precious. And I understand why he had that mindset, but it was still kind of frustrating because he really doesn't get over it until like the end of season 7. So it's kind of frustrating in that sense because it takes a while for him to realize that sometimes you have to kill to survive. But as of late, he's been in clear mode, so that's been pretty cool to see. Anyways, I really liked this episode. It was intense, it was brutal, it was just an amazing episode. Anyways, then we had the Glenn fake out death in episode 3. And I really did not like this fake out death because it was pretty obvious that Glenn wasn't dead because intestines don't come out of your chest. So I knew they were eating Nicholas's guts and not Glenn's. I also didn't like the fake out death because I think it ruined a lot of the tension for the season 6 finale and the season 7 premiere. But yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of the Glenn fake out death. But anyways, then we had the Morgan spin-off episode, and I really enjoyed this episode because we got to see what happened to Morgan after all this time. At the beginning of the episode, Morgan is still in clear mode, and he's just killing random people. And then he meets this guy named Eastman, and he teaches Morgan Aikido, I think that's how you pronounce it. And he teaches Morgan that all life is precious, and Eastman dies after getting bitten by a walker. But after Morgan leaves, he's completely changed, and he has a different philosophy of life. Anyways, I really liked this episode, and I really liked seeing Eastman as a character. I thought he was a really great character. So we see this huge walker herd is just outside of Alexandria. Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha come across the Saviors for the first time. And I remember one of them said, "Your property now belongs to Negan." And that was really cool to see because I heard about Negan and I knew sort of who he was, and I was really excited to see him in the television series. Anyways, Daryl blows them all up with a rocket launcher, which was just badass as hell. Anyways, back at Alexandria, we see the clock tower fall, and it breaks down the walls, and the walkers make their way inside Alexandria. And Deanna unfortunately dies after getting bitten. So we see Rick, Carl, Michonne, Jesse, Ron, and Sam, and I think Father Gabriel was there too, but they're all trapped inside this house, and they use the guts trick. They cover themselves in zombie guts, and they walk out into the herd of walkers. Then we have my favorite episode to date, which is the season 6 mid-season premiere titled No Way Out. This episode was insane. It was action-packed, it was intense, it was just an amazing episode. So we see the deaths of Sam and Jesse, and this sets off a crazy chain of events. While Jesse was getting torn apart, Rick was having these flashbacks of Jesse, and I thought that was a really nice touch. Anyways, Ron aims his gun at Rick, but Michonne kills Ron, but Ron fired a stray bullet, and it hit Carl in the eye. And I remember Carl turned to Rick, and he was like, "Dad?" And his whole eye is missing, and he just falls to the ground. That was such an intense scene. But anyways, Rick brings him to Denise, who's the doctor at Alexandria. And then Rick goes out into the herd with his axe, and he just goes savage. He just starts killing walkers, and he's taking them all on. Anyways, Glenn and Enid make it to Alexandria, and they save Maggie, who's on top of this platform. Anyways, everyone in Alexandria just goes savage and they just start killing walkers. And that was such an amazing scene to see everyone band together to fight this herd of walkers. And Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha arrive at Alexandria. And Daryl uses the rocket launcher to divert the herd by blowing up the lake. And that was pretty badass. But, anyways, we see this montage of the group killing walkers. And that was one of the best scenes in the show. But anyways, that brings us to episode 10. So in episode 10, Rick and Daryl go on a run and they meet Jesus. I really enjoyed this episode. There was a lot of comedy with Rick and Daryl fighting Jesus, and it was a really lighthearted episode. And I think we needed this episode because the episodes that followed were pretty dark. Anyways, we got to see the hilltop for the first time, which was really cool to see. And we also meet the leader of the hilltop, Gregory, and we learn more about Negan. And it was around this time that Rick and the group decide to go after the Saviors. And they go to one of the Savior outposts, and they take out the Saviors while they're asleep. And this was a really dark scene because this is the first time we've seen the survivors hunt people. And they think that they've taken out all the Saviors, but then they realize that that was just one outpost. And it's revealed that some of the Saviors have Maggie and Carol hostage. And we see Maggie and Carol having to fight for their lives after being taken hostage. But they eventually escape and they kill the Saviors. And they reunite with Rick and everyone else. But anyways, so they all go back to Alexandria. And Daryl, Rosita, and Denise go out on a run. And Denise gets shot in the eye by an arrow. And it's revealed that Dwight was the one who shot her in the eye. Also, I forgot to mention, Denise was Tara's girlfriend at the time, so Denise's death is Tara's reason for wanting to fight the Saviors. Anyways, after this, Alexandria is in lockdown mode because of the Saviors, and we see Daryl and Rosita looking for Dwight, and at the same time, Glenn and Michonne get taken hostage. Also, Carol leaves Alexandria, and Morgan goes out to look for her. And then we had another fake-out death at the end of episode 15. We see Dwight shoot Daryl, and I felt like this was a cliffhanger that was done right, because it hyped up the finale. And I knew Daryl wasn't dead, but still I felt like it was a cliffhanger that was done right. But anyways, that brings us to the finale, Last Day on Earth. So Rick wants to get Maggie to the hilltop because she's pregnant, and Rick wants to get her to the doctor at the hilltop, but the Saviors have blocked every path, and it all led up to the reveal of Negan. And I remember watching this episode for the first time, and I was just sick to my stomach watching this episode, because I knew someone was going to die, and I knew in the comics it was Glenn, and I did not want to see that happen. Like, I was not ready for this to happen. But anyways, they bring Daryl, Rosita, Glenn, and Michonne out, and we see everyone just on their knees. And we see Negan step out of the RV, and this was the first time in The Walking Dead that I felt scared. Like, I was genuinely scared watching this episode, because there was literally no way out. Like, Carol wasn't going to come in and save the day like she did at Terminus. There was literally no way out. Like, they were screwed. Anyways, Negan starts to do eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and I just felt sick to my stomach watching this scene. And then he picks his victim, but we don't find out who it is until the Season 7 premiere. That was the big cliffhanger of Season 6. We don't know who gets killed until the Season 7 premiere. And this cliffhanger pissed me off. Like, I remember after watching this episode, I was so pissed because I had been waiting to see Negan all season, and then they just took away the payoff, and they made you wait another 7 months to find out who Negan killed. Like, you just don't do that because it ruins the momentum. Because, like, after that cliffhanger, you know, like going into Season 7, the momentum was completely ruined. And what I think they should have done is they should have killed Abraham in the Season 6 finale. And then in the Season 7 premiere, they should have killed Glenn. Like, that would have been a lot better than the cliffhanger. But yeah, I just remember after watching that cliffhanger, I was just so pissed. Because we had been waiting to see Negan all season, and then they just took away the payoff. And, yeah, so anyways, yeah, I was not happy about the cliffhanger. But yeah, like, the whole season had been building up to Negan, and then finally we get to see Negan, but then they make us wait another 7 months to see who Negan killed. Like, you just don't do that. But besides the cliffhanger, the finale was a really good episode, but the cliffhanger kind of ruined the episode for me. And it left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, when I think back to season 6, I think about the cliffhanger. But yeah, anyways, those are my thoughts on the season 6 cliffhanger. But anyways, overall, I really enjoyed season 6. It had a lot of great episodes, like No Way Out, and overall, it was just a really good season. And yeah, so I'm gonna give season 6 a 9 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10, but I can't because of that cliffhanger at the end. But anyways, overall, I really enjoyed season 6. And yeah, so anyways, stay tuned for my season 7 review coming tomorrow. And yeah, so anyways, hope you guys enjoyed my Walking Dead season 6 review. Stay tuned for my season 7 review. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. See you all for the next one. Alright, bye guys.